Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial will be on this corset blouse that sits perfectly and at every given point on your body. If this is your first time of stopping by, do well to hit on the subscribe button, join the family, and to my old subscribers I say thank you very much for all your support. So without wasting so much time, let's get straight into the video. So for this tutorial, I'll be using my pattern paper to do this, and my pattern paper is folded into two because I want to show you guys every details of it. And I marked a starting point, and then from there I'll mark my bust point at 10 inches, my under bust at 13.5 inches, and then my half length at 16 inches. So you go ahead and measure yours to know what yours is at every given point. I'll go ahead and connect all these points straight. So you're going to be attaching another fabric from the half length, which is a skirt or a peplum or anything. So this is our bust point, our under bust, and then our waistline. So from there you can just join whatever you want to join at this for this blouse. So the next thing you're going to be doing is to mark our neckline at 3 inches by 3 inches. So it's just a basic neckline. The width is 3 inches and then the depth is 3 inches, and I'll connect this with my curve ruler. So once we are done with that, you're going to go ahead and insert our shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll make a point there, and then from there I'll go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and then I'll connect it into my neckline. Once I am done with that, from that shoulder slope, I'm going down by to get my chest line. And to get your chest line, you divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches. So that's what I did, and then I'll go ahead and connect these points also from the one coming from the shoulder slope. Once I am done with that, I'll divide these 2 points. I'll measure these 2 points, and then I will divide it into 2 this way. I'll make a point at the center, and then from there I'll come in by 0.5 inches, and then I'll go ahead and insert my bust measurement divided by 4 at my chest line. I'll make a point, then I'll connect these 3 points together with my curve ruler. Please take your time to get a perfect curve, a perfect armhole before you do that. So this is our armhole. So once we are done with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, and mine is 3.5 inches. So I'll mark it on the bust line, on the under bust, and then to the waist of this blouse. I'll go ahead and connect this with a straight line. So guys, this is what we have at this point, and once I am done with that, at my waistline I am taking 1 inch on the other side of my dart and also on the other bust, and then at this point I'm also taking 1 inch at this side. So we're taking 1 inch on both sides, and then I'll connect this with a straight ruler at this side and then at the other side as well. Once we are done with that, this is what we have at this point. So from the bust point, I am coming down by 1 inch because you don't want it to be sharp at that area. And then I'll go ahead and connect this with my curve to the other leg of my dart. And then I'll do the same thing to the other side of my dart. I'll connect this point as well. So guys, this is what we have at this point. So I'll go ahead and measure what I have from my bust point to my under bust, and mine is 3.5 inches. And then from my bust point, I'm going to mark that measurement upward this way. Then I'll connect this line, that line coming up to meet that point. So you can go ahead and measure this to make sure it's up to your nipple to nipple measurement that you have there. So you're going to go ahead and tighten the over bust, and for that I am taking 0.5 inches at this point, and then 0.75 inches. Please, 0.75 inches at both points. I don't know what I said earlier. And then I'll go ahead and connect this point so that we'll know where how far we are connecting our darts. So once we are done with that, I'll go ahead and connect these 0.75 inches into the bust point. I'll do the same thing for the other side. You can see the way I connected it with a straight line. So please go ahead and do yours the same. So this is what we have at this point. So this is our yoke. If you want it to cover more, you can come up a bit, and then make sure the dart extends into that because you want your overbust to be tightened. So once you are done with that, you're going to go ahead and create our corset. So from the chest line, I am coming in by half of an inch. So this half of an inch, by the time you open it up, you are going to have 1 inch. So you don't want it to be very wide. 1/2 inch should be very enough for you. So I'll go ahead and connect that 1/2 inch into this side of the dart. So this is what we have at this point. So then we are going to connect this one to the under bust. So you're going to be using your curve ruler to do this. Just make sure that when you are looking at it, it's giving a U vibe, that it looks like a U. So because you want to have enough room to accommodate your bust at this point. So this is what we have. I'll go ahead and label it 1. So this is the first side of the corset cup. Once you are done with that, you're going to go ahead and measure these 2 points. Whatever we have there, we are going to divide it into 2 and make a mark at the center. And then from that center, I am coming down by half of an inch. And then I'll go ahead and connect this. So we are trying to just mark out a full yoke pattern. And then we are going to connect that 1/2 inch this way. So once we are done with that, with my ruler, I'm going to also connect this side of the dart into that 1/2 inch that we marked earlier. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect the curve to meet the under bust. Remember, it should look like a U, and also so that it will be able to accommodate your bust at the end of the day. So this is what we have at this point. You can see how beautifully together is coming. So I'll just with my free hand connect this point to close that area up. So this is what we have at this point. So we're going to go ahead and insert our body measurement. So for my bust point, I'll insert my bust point divided by 4, which I've done earlier. So I'll just replace the dart. I'll measure the dart and replace it there. And then you're going to repeat the same process for every side of this pattern. And also to the waistline divided by 4, I'll replace my dart as well. Then I'll go ahead and connect this point with a straight ruler. So guys, this is what we have at this point. You can attach your stitching allowance as you are transferring to your fabric, but for me, I decided to add it now. So I'm adding 1.5 stitching allowance for the same side, and then I'll connect it with a straight ruler this way. So 1.5 inches for the bust to the under bust to the waistline. So guys, this is what we have at this point. You can see, so I'll measure the other side too, and I'll mark where I want them to be facing, because I don't want to mix this up at the end of the day. Please watch to see where I am cutting off, so that you don't make mistake as well. And when you are transferring to your fabric, please don't forget to add stitching allowance at the bust areas, the corset, around where you're going to sit the corset or attach the corset. You're going to even at your shoulder line and then the waistline. Don't forget to add your stitching allowance every side. So the only place we added is just the seam side. Every other side needs is stitching allowance. The only place you won't be adding is the center front, but every other side we'll be adding 1/2 inch to it. So this is what we have at this point. So I'm just trying to arrange this pattern, how it's going to sit. So you can see the marking that we have. Remember, this one is supposed to be facing this way. So this is what we have at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and use my paper tape to join this together, but please make sure you look at your pattern and make sure you are joining it well at the end of the day. So I just joined it together. This is what you have. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share my videos to family and friends, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I will see you in my next video. And don't forget to add your stitching allowance. Thank you so much for watching.